Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one. So, hello and welcome to another episode of Lids Off. I am your host, Bo Snow, joined with a very special guest today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Eilidh. Pronouns are she, her. I'm 27. I play for Solent Thrashers and GB Lions. I play QB for Solent Thrashers, and I'm running back and kicker for GB. And unfortunately, my NFL team is the Carolina Panthers, which
Yeah.
yeah.
Right,
Love
so
it.
we need to get into this backstory because I know we've just gone over it, but could you please tell your adoring fans why?
So I've got family who live in Charlotte, North Carolina, so they have all been Panthers fans forever. So I just kind of went with it. I was like, I need a team, and when I started watching the NFL, it was the era of Cam Newton, Luke Kuechly, Greg Olsen, Steve Smith, Julius Peppers, and I was like, we are amazing. This is great. I have a genuine reason to be a fan, and we're great. And then we made the Super Bowl, and I was like, we're unbelievable. We're going to win the Super Bowl in the next 3 years. And then we just imploded. We sold to whoever, and now we're just rubbish. But the last game of the season, we had a chance, so I'll go with that.
I'm not being funny, like, the latter half of your season, holy shit, like, you got your shit together. Like,
Bryce Young found his feet. The boy found his feet.
I was going to say, do you think Bryce Young is the one? Or is it Andy Dalton that's your second?
Yes, yeah. I think at the start of the season, I probably would have said no. When we benched him for a bit and then gave him kind of time to be like, just step back. And when he came back, he was much better. I mean, he's still short. Like, he's short, and that's concerning. But we have had ridiculous O-line problems for a very long time. So once we kind of give him some time to actually make some decisions, I think he might be all right. But the ship's still out. I've still got my Bryce Young jersey because, you know, I'm committing. I'm Staff Queen, but we'll come tell.
Okay. I like the faith, but I do enjoy that he had to be put in time out for him to actually start.
It was like, child, wait there, watch how to do it, and come back.
I mean, it worked, so go off. So before we go into the throes of Bryce Young's career, how did football find you, Eilidh?
So I used to watch it with my dad when I was young. My dad played when he was like 18 or something. He used to play for Glasgow Lions, and then grew up kind of, it was always on a Sunday evening, especially when, like, I went to Scotland. My granddad, they'd be up all hours, and like I couldn't sleep because there'd be random cheer in the middle of the night. My dad's a Steelers fan. Around that time, they were winning a lot. There was lots of cheers and whatever. And then my dad started American football refereeing in his older age. He loves it, but it is what it is. And basically it was Father's Day the next day, and I was like, he was like, I'm refereeing in Portsmouth, and I was like, oh cool. He was like, I'm doing a women's tournament. I was like, even better. So I just went down to watch, and then just basically started talking to the Portsmouth Dreadnoughts at the time, and just was like, I'm gonna give it a go. Here we are.
Hell, so how many years have you been playing then?
I have played 2 full seasons and a playoff game. So my first season, I guess technically, my full rookie season was a 7th season with Thrashers, but I joined in like the July before that, and the Dreadnoughts had just made playoffs. So my first game was against Peterborough Royals in the 7s playoff, basically. So that was a bit of a wild turnaround. It worked.
Oh, okay. So how did the QB position find you? Because that's like going head first into football.
So obviously last season was our first season at 9s, and I've played running back up until that point, running back and receiver predominantly. But so at the start of last season, old QB Iona, lover, she was getting married. So 2 weeks before our first game, I think she told the coaches a little bit while before, to be fair, but they were like 2 weeks before the game, they were like, yeah, can you play QB, please? And I was like, well, yeah, I guess so. And then I just ended up playing QB all season. So if in doubt, run. The O-line tell me off all the time because they're like, when you're going to run, can you tell us you're going to run? I'm like, yeah, but running's not scary for me. I'm a running back. This is great. No, but we need to know. And I was like, fair point.
That is terrifying. You're like, nope, I'm going on an adventure.
Yeah, pretty much. And so my first game at QB was against Warriors at home.
Are you fucking joking?
And then we had like it was probably, maybe it was 2 or 3 weeks, but there wasn't a lot of time before. And I did a lot of like panicking, but I love it. I do love it. I'm really passionate about it now. I'm excited to do a whole season where I've had an entire kind of pre-season to actually learn everything. So last season we made it work, and we won one game. I think we scored like somewhere around 30-ish points against Warriors over the 2 games. So I played last year. I played 3 games at quarterback and won. So I played the first game against Warriors at quarterback, then I went to receiver, and because I only played, and then the other 2 I went back to quarterback.
Okay. So what was your main learning lessons from last season then, would you say?
Remember to get the play. Thank you. There's a shout out to Lou Robbins, who would tell me every single time, go and get the play. And I was like, good point. That's my job. I'd stand in the huddle and she'd be like, have you got the play? And I'd be like, no, hang on. I'd have to run the side and get it.
Oh, I love Lou so much. Okay.
That was Lou's only advice all season, was go and get the play. And I was like, that's helpful. Other than that, I learned so much about football, just about defenses and who to read and when to, just little things like cadence of like, if you see someone come up to the line, wait, don't say down, set up. Like, things like that were just like proper football stuff. That running back is kind of like, there's lots of technicalities, what gap to get through, whatever, but all of the knowing everything and what everyone is doing and being like, if it all goes wrong, just run. It's fine.
Do you feel like there's an added pressure going into the QB position that there isn't necessarily in running back, or?
Sort of. I kind of thrive under pressure. That's kind of I play football as well, so I thrive in those situations. But I think, there probably is, because everyone's looking at you going, come into the huddle and call a play, and someone goes, what do I have on this? And you're the one that has to know, because you have to know where everyone's going on each play. So there's a little bit of that, I guess. But, realistically, it was just kind of see how it goes. And, the team were great, to be fair. Like, I panicked a lot, especially that first game. And everyone was like, you got it, you're fine. And then I just, wasn't too bad, I guess.
Yeah, because Solent, you guys went from absolutely dominating your last year of 7s to going up to 9s. And that was a tough year for you guys. Like, what do you think was the winning ingredient for Solent that kind of kept you guys together?
We're a football's family. I think that's a common theme across kind of like in all women's teams I've played in, especially American football. We went into games, like we had a tough schedule. Like we had Lions once and we had Warriors twice, and then we had Peterborough right at the end. So we were very aware of the experience of some of those teams and the quality in those teams, especially like last year, obviously I played with GB and I had a lot of friends from those environments, and I was like, I know the quality of these teams, and we as a team, we set small goals like score a touchdown, and every player each week, we kind of, led by the captains who were great last year, every player said, right, sent in we did a form, and it was like, get a first down or make a catch or run for 5 yards or whatever it was. And then after each game, we did like a celebratory, like, this was your 3 goals and you made 2 out of 3, or you made whatever. So everyone had individual goals that they were trying to achieve, make a tackle, catch a punt, whatever it was, that kind of kept everyone, although the scoreboard may not have necessarily been the way around we wanted it, there was lots of individual and personal goals that were successful. So I think that helped us a lot. But we have a great, we do lots of socials and stuff, and the atmosphere at Thrashers is just great. There's an awful mix of music on the playlist, but it works.
Like every single person that I've met from Solent, you're like so lovely, genuinely. So whatever you've got going there is just chef kiss. So how do you keep the momentum going? Because, injuries happen, you've got it's loss after loss. I'm sure there are times where, are you a competitive person yourself? Was there any element of you struggling with that? Or
I'm uber competitive, but I kind of went for win every play. To try and win each play, try and just get positive yardage, especially on offense. In terms of just keeping going, that was the goal. It was like, when's the next first down? Can we just stack them and then they'll come? I'm probably too competitive at times, and I might make decisions that make coaches go, it just happens. Can't help it.
We love a self-aware queen. That's the best thing.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure the first part of the year I was like, I'm gonna run it, and I looked over and they were like, what have you done? Oh, it worked. I went over. I think I ran off and I was like, I won't do that again. He went, no, if it works, it works. But yeah.
Do you think, is it hard kind of being the lead of decisions, on the pitch, because after the OC calls in the play, then it's literally down to you to hand it off or run it. Is there an added pressure of that kind of making those decisions? Because these are the people that you say, football is family, and they're going against these people that are, trying to win, trying to dominate. Is there an added pressure that gets to you about that? Or
I would say a little bit. I think it's little things like, when you've got a read and sending your running back into a situation and you're like, I should have pulled that. Sorry, you just got smacked by some very large people. But, I guess so there is a little bit of pressure, but I just try not to think about it and just snap positive plays on and just enjoy it, because we don't get that many games. It's like this year, the schedule's longer and there's more games, which is great. Last year we only had 4 over 5 months, and it was like, you just got to enjoy it. We don't get that many opportunities to play like competitively against other people. So just enjoying each opportunity and not really worrying about the pressure. Having mini goals helps, but just have fun. That's what football's about, right?
So you've always been offense, never defense.
I played a couple of snaps on defense last year.
You were all hands on deck, weren't you?
It was an emergency situation. Yeah. There was an injury or something, and they were like, we just need someone to go in for like 3 plays. And I was like, okay, where do you need me? And I played like corner for like 3 plays, but predominantly, yes, offense.
I was going to say it was either going to be linebacker or a DB somewhere. Like,
I got a very quick up in that time, so I'll take it. It goes in the stat line. That's all it was.
That is incredible. Please, did you wave it off as well? Please tell me you did a little celebration.
I feel like I did. I feel like I was like, but like no taunting, so just like I think I probably just celebrated more than anything. I was like, it was in the end zone as well, and I was like, no.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
There's a photo of it, and I was like, frame it, hang it.
Sign it as well, please. It needs a time and date. So what was it like going from, just domestic football to elevating it to GB? Did you ever think that you would, was GB always a goal for you?
It wasn't. I played the first kind of playoff game. We played 2 that game for Dreadnoughts. And that time they said, like, we really think that you should go for this. And I was like, I've played 2 games of 7s. Like, I don't think that I'm there yet. So I played the 7th year the year after. But my first day, luckily I had Lou and Steph and Sarah from Thrashers could kind of be like, this is how we do it. And I was like, that's very helpful. I had so many questions. Praise to Becky, the former team manager, last year. I had all the questions, all the things like, where do I need to be? What do I need to wear? What do I need to bring? But the standard is ridiculous. Like, just to get 3 yards in a scrimmage is like in an inside zone, mad. Like, the quality of players that we have. And I guess it's shown, like, from their performances at Worlds and the European silver medal, like, we are up there for a sport that isn't that well known. And, the dedication, for us down here, it's 4 hours to Nottingham, like once a month. You've got people coming from Scotland, all over the place to turn up for once a month, and it's, the standard is immense.
What does it mean to you though to be able to say, you're a GB athlete?
It's massive, and I'm a PE teacher, and I had this conversation with the kids.
No way, really?
Yeah.
That's sick.
I'll just do sport all day. It's great. I get paid to wear tracksuits. I, as a head of year, I stood in front of my year group and I was like, for as long as I can remember, I wanted to represent my country at something. And for years, I thought it was going to be football, soccer. I've played that since I was like 5. Played that to a reasonably high standard, won in Southern National League. But it was just, went to youth Scotland camps and I was like, this is where it's going to be. I'm going to be a footballer. And then to have an opportunity pop up and like Spain, my first game was Spain and I was on the kickoff. That was the only thing I was on the kickoff. And I ran down and we made a tackle and I was like, this is the best thing ever. Like, it's just amazing to be in that kind of environment and be, I guess, regarded as an athlete of that kind of standard. When you go to work every day and you don't really think about it, but you go and play those games and see the people on the sidelines that you care about, that's kind of what it means, I guess.
That's incredible, though. Is it hard for someone that is, as competitive and holds themselves to quite a high standard to, get to a point where you are at Spain, but you only get put on for one play, or is it just, right, how can I build from this and how can I get more game time?
Yeah, I think for me, just being selected was like, I could have gone and just stood on the sideline, and I would, in that instance, I would have been happy, like for the first time ever. Do I want to get on the field more? Absolutely. Is there, I did a lot of reps at kicker, and that was kind of a way where I was like, this is something that I think I'm really good at, and I can add value to the team. And credit to the previous kicker, like Sam, she was great. She kind of showed me the ropes, how to kick a football. Like, I'd never before the first trial, I'd never kicked one. But, being able to add value and making my extra points in the Finland game, to keep the margin of victory to the point where we get a silver medal, like, if I can contribute a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more every time, then that's grand for me. Like, if I want to be on the field, like, no matter what it is, special teams, running back, anything, I just want to be on the field. So if I can add value and contribute in that way, then that's the plan.
Sick. That is sick. So when it comes to being a teammate for Solent, what 3 qualities do you think are the best things that you bring to the team?
Oh, I don't know. I'm a bit of a goofball. So I just bring the fun. I guess that's number one, because that's why we do it. We play football because it's fun. We want to win, obviously. That's competitors in us. Bring the fun. I don't know. I just bring me. That sounds really stupid, but that's me. I don't know. What's one? I don't know.
How would your teammates describe you then? Apart from a goofball.
Energetic, probably.
Okay.
I don't really like to stand still. Get me in, coach. Energetic. I don't know. Make something happen. Like,
okay.
I just love football. I don't really have. I'm also not very good at talking about myself. So this is interesting.
No, it was quite interesting now that, you were really confident and it flowed really easily for you talking about like objectives, but when it comes to talking about yourself, which is quite interesting.
I'm quite shy. I come across quite outgoing, but I'm actually quite shy, and I'm a bit of a tough exterior, soft centre.
Are you a golden retriever?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Is that what your fiance would say?
Yes. Probably.
Okay, I get that. I'm exactly the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you best prepare for game day then?
Game day, water. Just drink lots of water. And I'm rubbish at drinking water generally. On a game day, the Gatorade, the day, 3 days, 4 days before, I'm like carrying a Gatorade jug around, like, I will drink this water.
Right, okay. Can you break this hydration propaganda down for me, because I tried to speak with Millie, who was on the last episode, about it. Why do people push this hydration thing? Because it just makes you wee more.
See, I personally, this is really gross, but I'm a sweater. Like, I'm
really
okay. Yeah. So okay. In we think, like, I also have to wear lots of layers. So, like, you can say about preparing for a game, I've got undershorts, girdle, leggings, game pants.
Okay.
Because the girdle itchy. So but then if I don't put the leggings over the girdle moves around too much and it's annoying.
Okay.
So I'm warm. I'm warm, and therefore I just have to drink loads.
And you're also moving substantially more than my position would be, so that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I just drinking a lot, eating lots of carbs, pasta usually. Like, usually if it's an away game, I'm not very good at eating lots of food, so I tend to have like a small bowl of pasta or something like that I can just kind of eat slowly. Like, if let's say we were going on an away day, it'd be like, I'd be eating pasta from like 9 o'clock till like 12. And it could be a pot that's like this big because I just can't eat that much. I'm like, I'm going to throw up.
I was going to say, yeah, like I get so anxious I can't eat. Like, I don't know how you do it.
Before I play like soccer like every week, I don't really eat that much. Like, I eat like a Squares bar. Maybe a Squares bar before a game, Squares bar at half time, and then like the Science and Sport gels. And then that's kind of me. I'm if there's too much in there, I'm not going to throw up. I just feel really heavy. I just feel like really heavy, like I'm carrying around like a Sainsbury's bag worth of food.
That's a very niche and very specific weight of food, but I'm here for it. Do you so even though you've been playing like soccer for longer, do you still get just as nervous as when you're playing American football?
I wouldn't say I get nervous at football, but like normal football, English football.
Okay.
I feel like in a lot of ways I've been in a lot of different scenarios, so I don't really get that nervous.
Okay.
Whereas American football, Yes, nervous. I think just because there's a lot more moving parts, and then in the grand scheme of things, I've only been playing for like 2.5 years. So there's still so much to learn and so many scenarios where I'm like, did I do that right? Was that the right choice? I don't know. So I think that's kind of where it comes from. That's where the nerves are.
Have you played any contact sport before American football?
In all honesty, I shied away from contact sports.
Really?
So when I was at school, they were introducing contact rugby for girls.
Okay.
It was very much like the boys do this and the girls play netball. Like,
right. Yeah.
In the best possible way. Like I played basketball and all sorts, but like for rugby, it was very much like this and that. So we did a bit of like tag rugby. If you'd have asked me, the Thrashers girls will probably still say this now. I don't want to tackle no one with no pads. No, thank you. They're like, why do you come play rugby? I'm like, no, thank you. I'll stick to kiki ball. Thank you.
What is it? Does the PPE make you feel safer?
I guess so. I mean, I've never played contact rugby without. I teach contact rugby at school. So I can tackle. Like I can tackle. I've demonstrated tackles and stuff. I don't know what it is. I just don't like the idea of it. I just think. Also, in rugby, there's lots of jumping on top of each other. In American football, you hit the ground, everyone gets up and goes their own way. Like, and then you start again. But I don't know. I didn't play contact sports until I guess like 2.5 years ago.
I find that fascinating because as a running back, like a running back's shelf life is the shortest of any other position. Like, that is wild. Like, do you not mind getting hit? It's being hit, or?
Well, it's a bit of an odd one because I didn't play contact rugby, I wasn't, or any other contact sport, ice hockey or anything. I was actually quite shocked. So last year was the first year where I had to make tackles because I was on special teams. And I don't think I missed the tackle, but like I made some like, there's a photo and I'm just kind of laying at someone's feet, but it worked. But I don't know. I guess in a competitive situation where the game's on and it's like, make this tackle, they score a touchdown, I'm gonna throw myself. And I don't think about it. Whereas I think if in practice, when it's like, tackle this person, I'm like, okay, I have to think about it. Whereas in a game, I'm like, you're in the wrong colour, I'm going to hit it.
Do you think it makes a difference whether you know the people that you're tackling or not?
Not really. Okay. I don't think. Okay, I guess I tackled both. In, people that I knew and people that I didn't. I didn't really think about it. I was like, in the moment, I was like, you have the ball and I don't want you in my end zone, so I'm going to tackle you. And that was basically it.
Okay, fair enough. But at training, you're like, no me gusta, that's not for me.
I'll do it, but I feel I'm very much the type of person that if you give me too much time to think or too many things to think about in training, I'm going to mess it up.
Okay.
Like, in a game, I don't have anything to think. I don't have any time to think about it. I'm just going to, even if it's not perfect, I'm going to try. But in practice, if you give me like 5 or 6 things, like, put this here, do this there, and I'm like, wait, what am I thinking about? You've lost me. Sometimes someone will say something and be like, this is the play. They're doing this, 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 and this. And I'm like, wait, what? Huh? Come again.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of like that. So what is the best kind of coaching to get the best out of you then? When, if someone's like too much verbal and it's too much, like, what do you thrive at?
I'm a visual and I'm a doer. So I'm a kinesthetic learner and I need for you to let me do it. And if I do it and I do it wrong, then I can learn from that. Whereas if you just if you talk it, I'm not going to compute it. I need to see it and I need to do it. So I need to see what you want it to look like, especially in offense. I need to see what you want it to look like, and then I need to do it. And then you need to say, yes, no, you try this next time. So like, I'm very much like, after a play, very often I'll be like, was that right? Was it good? I don't know. And I just need you to be like, yes, right read, or right throw, or, right decision, or wrong decision. Try this next time, and then just do it again. Like, I'm very much like, let's go, do it again, so I can get another chance to do it.
Okay. So when that is like that, do you need to know why you're doing things, or are you just very directive, just tell me how to do it and I'll do it?
I do like to know the logic behind things, and I think that it boils into work as well. Like, if you're saying, do this, like, why do you want me to do this? So I can understand the process behind it. So if I end up in the situation again, like in game, for example, and you just said, do it this way for this play, if something goes wrong, I need to know to be able to say, it went wrong because of this, or I didn't do this right. Whereas if you just say to me, run it this way every time, I can't work out why. I can do it like that every time, and I'll just do it, but I can't correct it if there's a mistake somewhere along the line. That makes sense?
Right, okay. Yeah. I'm finding that with a lot of, I've started playing for a men's team or an adults team, and there is never a question of why. They are just like, go find ball, go get ball, and they're like, yeah, sure, okay. Whereas playing for women's teams, they're like, but why? And I guess my question to you is, do you find that in your professional life as well? Is that what it's like in schools, or is it because it's teenagers, it's carnage anyway?
So when I teach like GCSE PE, they're very much like, but this, but why? And I'm like, okay, tangent, come back to where we are. But I enjoy the inquisitiveness of like, why is this happening?
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain it in more detail? And sometimes I'm like, look, I'm not a doctor. I can tell you the basic anatomy and the understanding of it, but sometimes you ask questions I don't know the answer to, and that's okay to say I don't know. In terms of when I teach practical, they're very much like, yes, miss, I understand, miss. And then you send them off to do it, and then they don't do anything you told them to do. And you go over and you go, it happened today. I was teaching basketball. This is a layup. You're going to do this, 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 and this. And we went over it, and they could tell me it. Same with rugby. Teach rugby. Like, run forwards, pass backwards. Run forwards, pass backwards. You all say this over and over. And the first thing they do, whoop, forward. No, why? Why did you do that? I don't know. I just think there's two different... As they go through the school, they do get a little bit more, but why? Why are you saying this? Why do we have to do this? Why is this coursework this long? Whereas Key Stage 3, kind of 7, 8, 9, they're like, yes, okay, I'm going to go and do my own thing. You're like, no, come back, try again.
Young people so much. Do you
They come
find
out
that
with
there's...
gold.
Yeah, honestly, I miss working with them so much. Do you find that there is a curiosity from young girls about American football?
Yeah, I mean, so I purposely, we have like a who are we in the PE department, and I purposely chose an American football photo. I work in central Portsmouth, so Portsmouth's a football city. Like, they love Portsmouth Football Club. They go all the time. Everything revolves around football. Miss, when are we doing football in PE? When's football after school club? So they love it. So I purposely chose one that was a sport that they would be like, that's interesting. And the number of kids who go, Miss, is that rugby? I'm like, no. It's not rugby. Okay? It's not rugby. But since I started playing American football, we've actually, for Key Stage 4, put flag football on the curriculum.
That's amazing.
So, and they love it. Like, I did it last year with, it was a lot of guys from my old tutor group, because I'm ahead of you now, I don't have them. And they loved it. Like, I split them into two teams at the start. I made them pick a team. I was like, the Seagulls against something. Seagulls against the Pirates or something. And I was like, Seagulls? Like, of all the birds, Seagulls. Like, but I set them in two teams at the start, and I taught them all the principles, and we did like 1 week on run plays and 1 week on passing concepts. And by the end, like, they were calling plays, we were playing across the pitch, they had tag belts, like,
that's amazing.
They were loving it. And they were like, Miss, when are we doing it again? And I got the local university, Portsmouth Destroyers, to come in. We did like a 3-hour workshop. So they are inquisitive, and they do ask questions quite a lot, and they say, Miss, what sport do you play? Do you play American football, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, it's really cool. Like, go and watch something on YouTube and like come back to me. And they do. Like, I think I've sent 5 or 6 boys to the local like youth team.
That's incredible.
So we had one boy recently in year 10. He had to do like they had like a sports person come in, and he missed it because he wasn't in. Excuse me. And he was like, Miss, will you do it for me? And I was like, this is fine. So I brought all my kit in, he tried it all on, and he was like, this is sick. So I've sent him to like a local team, and he's going to hopefully pick it up in the summer.
That's amazing. What does that feel like as a, like, not only as a tutor, but kind of like as a human that loves football?
I mean, I love it. And it's an opportunity for them to learn something new. Again, he's very much, I play football. How will it interfere with me playing normal football? It's like, no. Like, I do both, and they run in basically opposite seasons. American football's in the summer, normal football's in the winter. And, you know, to see him, like, light up and be like, he had to write, like, an interview with me, and he was like, he's not the most academic of children, and he was just like, yeah, tell me everything. Like, can you show me on YouTube? Like, and he just loved it. And, like, there was a couple of lunch times where he was, like, a bit overwhelmed, and he just came into my office and just, like, watched YouTube videos of, like, highlights of the NFL, and he was just loving it. And I was like,
That's
this makes me
amazing.
happy.
That is incredible. So I guess going down that of you being interviewed, why do you love American football? What is it about it that you love?
I think there's a few things, like football's family, and it's like a whole another family for me. And, it's the little things like after training, we do like Monday Mackey's Club and things like that, where we'll
That is
just kind of,
amazing. Please explain this.
so some of us will just like, we're hungry after training and we'll just go and get takeaway or, go to McDonald's, just like have a hot chocolate or something, and just like social, like little things like that, or, that aspect of it. I love the competitiveness of it, and that you never know everything. There's always something new to learn. There's a new skill, there's a new play, there's always something new. I'm the same in like the gym. I do CrossFit, so it's never the same. Like, I never go in and it's exactly the same workout. And if it is, I can retest it. Like, it's the same for American football, that competitiveness coupled with constant learning, I think, is the biggest kind of draw. Like, you can never see 2 games of football that are exactly the same, and anything can happen on any given play. And that kind of just excites me. Just the unknown, and just, can I make something happen and do something pretty cool? Then that's for me.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. So, shit, I lost my train of thought then. What was it? I was too busy agreeing with you. Where was it? Loading. Yeah, that's the one. So, what do you feel football has brought to your life?
I feel like it's brought a new excitement for sport. So I played football for years, and I still do, and I still love it, and I still love games, and I still love, my team that I play for. But just that kind of something new to achieve, something new to work towards. Like, yeah, I want to win the league when I play football, but something every session there's something to work towards. And I think that's kind of the biggest thing for me, is like just loving sport. And it's helped with football, like my competitiveness and just enjoying everything about it. That sounds a bit cliche, but I do enjoy everything about American football.
It's not cliche at all. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. I think it's the best sport in the world, but that's me. Like, it's just so many different things at the same time. There's nothing like it.
It brings so many people together as well, like from so many walks of life that you wouldn't necessarily come across. And it's the ultimate team sport, in my opinion. Like, there's a position for everyone. There's a role for everyone, like either on the field or off the field. Like, you can love American football and not ever want to play, and you can coach, or you can, help run, your skill set is in like treasurer or whatever. Like, you can still contribute to a team, on or off the field, and it caters for every shape, size, age, ability. It
really does.
For me, is like the ultimate team, like, in my opinion.
No, I completely agree. Who would you say has been your biggest influences on your football career? It can be famous or non-famous or both.
Okay. Famous, I'll probably say Christian McCaffrey, just because he makes it look effortless and he just looks like he's having fun all the time.
I mean, it was definitely effortless this season, doing nothing at all.
I mean, yeah, he did a great job of sitting on the sidelines. But then, he left the Panthers and I was like, go win a ring. And then he lost, and now he's on the bench. And I'm like, okay, you were close. But fair play. Fair play, you went to a Super Bowl. Non-famous, there's obviously like Steph at Thrashers. Basically taught me how to be a running back, both at Thrashers and at GB. So she was a massive influence in kind of just being like, do it this way, this is the way, and is just a smiley face at all times. Like,
she really is, isn't she? She's like such a lovely person.
Just amazing. My roommate for GB as well, and just an all-around hero. Lou, just everyone at Thrashers, really. They just kind of wrap around, and when I'm like, do you want to stay after and like do some throws? And they're like, yeah, no problem. I'm like, you guys are just the best.
That is awesome, genuinely. So we'll go to NFL. Who, as a running back yourself, in the argument of Saquon Barkley versus Derrick Henry, who are you choosing?
I'm going Barkley.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
He's just elusive. Like, I appreciate Derrick Henry's ability to like run through people. That is a talent in itself.
Yeah.
But when you don't have that ability it's a bit like the Messi-Ronaldo debate, like who's better. Like, Messi doesn't have the athleticism of Ronaldo, but he is equally as good. Like,
Mm.
how many goals does Ronaldo score with his head? It's kind of that debate for me. Like, Derek Henry can run through people, and he can make cuts, and he can make big runs, but to make it out of situations where there is nothing, like that reverse hurdle, the girls tried to make me do it at practice the other day, and I could barely jump. I barely got over like 2 feet. And I was like, how on earth did he jump backwards over a human? Like, he was a good 4 or 5 feet off the ground at least. How? Like, that is just special, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. Who would you say is like a QB that you really like then?
I like a Josh Allen.
Okay.
I am not built like Josh Allen. That is a fact.
I was gonna say that's like
But
polar opposite.
I guess, like, recently as well, he's kind of developed that kind of poise under pressure. But his ability to run and throw, and just make things like, he drives that Bills team.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like, he's got stars around him, but the ability to just kind of put the team on your back and like makes it hard yards, or like, I love a QB that just, I'm not gonna slide, just I'm gonna run through you. And I'm going to try and get as many yards as I can for my team. And if that means that I'm a bit banged up, then that's fine, you know. And I get it. I understand the preservation of slide, and I get it. Run out of bounds and all those things. But I just have a little soft spot. The running back in me is like, truck him.
That's amazing. You know what I do like about Josh Allen is, I think it was his first, maybe his rookie year, and everyone was like, oh, he really wasn't making those long throws. And then the off season, he just solely worked on his hip movement, and that just activated it, and his throwing yards just increased dramatically. So have you had that off-season moment where you've had to like solely work on something as a running back or as a QB?
I think I'm currently in that process.
Okay.
So last year was very much we're just going to try and get it done, and we're going to see how it goes, and we're going to, you know, I think against our last game against Peterborough was the first time that I like threw, and it was for 2 points. It was going for 2, but like I threw for 2 points, and I probably celebrated more for those 2 points than I did in any of the touchdowns I scored last year. Just because it was like the culmination of lots of practice, and like going, like it was it was a play that we'd had drawn up, and we'd made a suggestion on it, and it worked. And it was probably the one moment where I was like, this is amazing. So in the current like pre-season, off-season, we've done a lot of throwing, a lot of mechanics and understanding footwork and stuff like that, and just kind of like taking videos and watching them back and things like that. So that's probably my current off-season, pre-season. Hopefully we do better and we make more. My only goal this year is to win more than one game and to improve the passing game. Okay. That's kind of it. That's where I'm at.
What's been the hardest part of being a QB that you've had to kind of come to learn?
I think understanding like read progressions and things like that, and remembering on each play, having to remember what everyone does, but also what to do in this scenario and that scenario and this scenario to make it all work. Like if the linebacker drops and does this, then do this. Like all of those things, I'm like, okay, like I've got a very color-coded notebook. I told our offensive coordinator the other day, and he was like, I need to see this. And I brought it, and he was like, wow. Because my brain works in colors, and I've written, like, I've had to draw it out and over again, and what does each person do in each formation, and what do they do if this person does this? And so when I'm stuck, I'm like, the night before training with install, I'm like reading this book like a Bible.
That's it. Have you watched the new Aaron Rodgers documentary?
I started it, I haven't watched all of it.
So he said something that kind of clicked with me, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. He wrote the position, he uses checkerboards, and he writes the position, and then he lays the checkers out in that formation, and then he physically moves them. And for me, I like struggle so much to learn playbook, but being able to physically move them around helps so much for me.
Yeah, I have a similar process. So I got like, for Christmas, I got like an advent calendar, and it was like tiny little like NFL model things.
That's cool.
My partner was like, what are you going to do with them? Like they sat out and they came with like a field and everything that they could sit on. And she was like, what are you going to do with them? And I was like, they're going to be my blindside sauce bottles. And like, that's what they're going to be.
That's amazing.
Like, I don't mean that this is going to be the ketchup and whatever. And so now they're in like a little plastic tub with the field underneath in like cupboards. So when I'm like stuck and I'm just, sometimes I need to do it, like you were saying earlier. And I do that. I move them. Or I put them in the formation on a piece of like a blank piece of paper, and then I like draw what the route should be. Like I'll get her to just be like display, and then I'll just draw it out. So I'll put them in the formation, and then be like, this person goes here, and this person does that. It's a bit sad, but
no, it's not.
That's my process. So as it gets closer to games, there's going to be a lot more testing happening. But thankfully, she is very understanding of my tiny brain and the need to practice.
You do not have a tiny brain at all. You have a very big brain, and that is really cool. That's like what I suggested, but like tenfold and even cooler with cooler mod. Yes, please do. That is very cool. That is very cool. So, what is your favourite football movie, though?
I'm a big Blindside fan, but I'm not a big fan. Since the stuff's come out about it, I'm a little bit torn.
Yeah.
So, I love the story, and you can't fault Sandy B, can you? Like,
she's very attractive in that movie as
well.
well.
She's just great in everything. Everything she's been. Gravity, completely different to the Blind Side, and she just nails both. I'm a big film buff as well. I did film at college, so
10
I
out
like
of 10,
a film.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I like Remember the Titans as well.
Okay. Solid film. Solid.
OG. Yes. Like, good meaning, good narrative, decent acting.
I love how tentatively you said that as well.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's an interesting football technique, but the storyline's great, and I love a film based on a true story.
Yeah, true.
Like,
very
true. I'm a non-fiction gal.
Really? Okay.
I do like Star Wars though, but that's
okay. So when you go for fiction, you go elite. So
I'll go elite. Yeah, it has to be either real and believable or completely out there. It can't be like this weird in the middle. Like, are we human? Are we not human? Like, we're not human, but we present as human. Like, I don't get it. Just separate.
You know what I love about this whole interview is that I asked you to name 3 things that your teammates might describe about you, and you're like, not sure, but your solid stance on movies that you said with chest immediately, 10 out of 10, my friend. 10 out of 10.
Don't ask me to talk about myself, but I am very set in other things.
I respect that. I really do.
Like, yeah, I'm not a weird. I'm not a bad bird. I'm just an odd bird, and I'm okay with that.
You've definitely said that before.
Yeah,
definitely said that before.
Yeah, I own it. The kids at school call me weird all the time, and I'm like, yeah. Tell me something I don't know.
That means you're cool, though. If teenagers find you weird, then that means you're cool.
I'm like, tell me something I don't know.
So, before we leave, what is your Super Bowl prediction?
Well, number one, I'm really upset that we have to watch the Eagles against the Chiefs again.
Yeah.
I'm really upset about that. Yeah. It was a long shot, but I was really hoping for a Commanders Bills. That would have just been
same.
That would have been a slog, and I would have been all over it. My brain tells me that the Chiefs will probably pull it off, but I just don't want them to win again. I love the idea of the Chiefs, and I love the way they play, but I just am bored. So I'm gonna go for the Eagles. I'm gonna stick my neck out on the line and just hope they pull it off.
Okay. As a Cowboys fan, I hate both of them, and I hate everyone that isn't the Cowboys. But
you'd go Chiefs, I guess.
I fucking hate the Chiefs so much, and I hate the Chiefs more than I hate the Eagles. Yeah.
I think Mahomes, the ref penalty thing is probably getting a little bit out of hand. I just want to see.
It's proven, though. It's proven. It's so gross.
Well, he flopped last week, and I was like, okay, I've lost a bit of respect. Win, but don't try and. It's like the same. It's like in football where someone dives. Like, why? You either get I'm bad in normal football, and my team tell me off sometimes. I'm like, why don't you just go down? Like, you were fouled, and I'm like, I know, but I can stay on my feet. So I should have gone down because I got a free kick, but. I'm just bored. Like, I don't want to see them win again. Like, no one wants to see a team win 3 times in a row. The whole point of the NFL is that anyone can make it and anyone can win in any given year. It's like watching Man City win the Premier League every year, and you're like, boring.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Do you think Kelsey will retire this year?
I mean, maybe if he wins a third.
I think he should. He runs slow as fuck now.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
The boy has been distracted. Like, I've not been impressed this year, but somehow they've made the Super Bowl again. And he just pop up with, like, a red zone touchdown every time. And you're like, it's annoying. Like,
Yeah.
let George Kittle win a Super Bowl. He's fun.
I love George Kittle so much, and I
Have
love
you
his
watched the
wife.
Receiver documentary?
Yes, I love him and his wife so much.
He just looks like he's having fun all the time. That's just the goal.
I
Just
love his
turn
little
up,
first
have fun.
down celebration. It's everything.
Oh,
it's
it's great.
absolutely brilliant.
If you're going to have
Absolutely
a celebration, like, something like that is just subtle and classy.
Nerdy and niche. I like it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here for it. That's my kind of celebration.
So, have you got any final sentiments for your adoring fans? Anyone at the Thrashers?
No, Thrashers, I love you all. You do that anyway. Shout out to my partner who puts up with all of my football and sporting endeavours, both American and normal, and giving up your Sunday evening to watch the NFL with me because, and she actually admitted she enjoyed it the other day, and I was like, yes, as a win.
Is she going to be a Panthers fan though?
I told her she had no choice. I'm not gonna lie. I let her pick an AFC team. I was like, in the NFC, it is the Panthers. There was no other viable option.
Okay.
So I got in there early and I was like, I bought you a jersey. You have a jersey now. Your first jersey was Panthers jersey. You can't go back on it. Okay? I'm too fanatical about this. No, but she did pick the Bengals for her AFC team, which is fine because my team that I play football for, we play in orange and black. So
that's really cute. That's really, really cute.
She just said the helmet looked cool, and I was like, that's a great reason.
I thought you were going to tell me that she was like, ooh, Joe Burrow, but no.
She was like, the helmet looks pretty.
Okay, that I will accept.
And she loves Lego, and we've committed to building like all 32 teams Lego helmets, like the little.
Sorry, that is really fucking helmets. Cool.
The first one we built was the Bills one. There were some tantrums between the two of us. we had to take alternate turns at trying to do this helmet, but
that's cool. Really fucking cool though. Well, congratulations first off on being engaged. Thanks. As well. That's amazing. Thank you for coming on.
Appreciate it.
You are an absolute monster of an athlete, and I'm very excited for the new season of Solent and what you bring and what chaos you and your offense come up to as well.
I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
So,
I enjoyed it.
I've been Bo Snow.
No, I've been Eilidh.
And this has been Lids Off. Bye.
Ciao.